Welcome to the Inspiration Incubator, everyone. I'm your host, Leona Baker. And this evening, I have a treat for you all. When I tell you, we have not one, but two single men in the building today. And if you didn't catch the last episode, we had three single ladies. We had a very interesting conversation about love. So the same will be said for this evening. So let's just start off with me introducing the gentleman. I'm going to first start off with Eric. First of all, he has an MBA in finance and he has a wealth management business.
So as an investor, you may have heard of the terms small cap, mid cap, and large cap stocks get thrown around. These terms are a direct reflection of market capitalization. Sure that you understand at least the basics of how to invest. And I'm not saying that you have to be a guru, right, or you don't have to have a PhD in finance or anything like that, but at least understand the basics. What does asset allocation mean? Right. What does a stock mean? What does a bond mean? What is an index fund? Just the basics so that you can at least understand what you're investing in, because it is my personal philosophy and belief that no matter how bad things get for me, so long as I remain determined, I know that over the long run, I control my own destiny. Now, that's my personal philosophy.
All right. So his business bio is as follows. Hudson's Wealth Management, LLC, was founded and built upon the principles of honor and integrity. Our sworn duty is to uphold the fiduciary standard as a registered investment advisory firm by acting within the best interests of our clients at all times. As asset managers, we study the markets and our clients' needs with extreme intensity. And based on that, built in investment portfolios across a broad range of asset classes. Our primary objective is to maximize your investment returns without assuming excessive risk. And I don't know about you ladies, but that sounds something like a relationship to me. You want to minimize your risk, okay? So we want to welcome Mr. Eric Hudson to the platform. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you, Leona.
Yes, and did want to mention I met Eric here years ago in Texas, and he moved to Dallas, and then since then he's moved around a little bit more, but I was able to pull his coattails for today, so I'm excited to have him here with us. And now we have Mr. Bobby Bryant. I met Bobby years ago. I was at a friend of mine, Lalu Davies. He had a wine tasting party, and Bobby was there, and those two are thick as thieves, and I've been able to keep in touch with Bobby over the years through social media. So I was like, let me catch up with Bobby and see what he's been up to. And he's always doing so many amazing things as it relates to real estate, ladies. So
talking with the executive team from DOS. DOS is a prop tech company that is obsessed with creating an end-to-end, fair-priced digital marketplace, developing a voice assistant that is helping personalize the home buying experience. Bobby Bryant is the founder and CEO of DOS. Chris Norton is the chief operating officer and an emerging tech leader who is helping build this impressive platform. These two prop tech leaders are building an intuitive platform that is set to disrupt the real estate industry. I enjoyed my conversation with DOS, and I know you will too.
You know what? 2021 was an awesome year. I like using the word stratospheric if you know me well. You know, in regards to the business side, there were so many things that we needed, to battle test. Our business model and method, messaging, workflows, cost of services, systems, marketing.
Maybe it's all a race to the bottom if you don't have technology. But one thing for sure is millennials, are currently the largest segment of buyers. One thing is for sure, this Gen Z behind them is about 3 to 5 years away from buying homes and being in the market themselves. These two generations are the largest, smartest, most diverse generations in history. Yet we have a real estate system that was created by baby boomers. And if you guys hadn't paid attention, that these millennials and Gen Zs are totally different. And by the way, when it comes to equality, they're not having it. The world is changing. And if the world changed, that means brokerage business and the way we do business has to change. It's no way, taking that the real estate industry was formalized in 1908, that we could be 112 and 113 years later still doing this business the same exact way with the largest and smartest and most diverse generations in the history.
Let's read a little bit of his bio. Our story. The conception of a big idea. This idea that we could improve the real estate industry began during the dawn of the 2008 recession. We believe that something different than what has happened in the industry for the last 100 years, that we could build something special to radically evolve the way people search and transact property, and that we could successfully lower transactional costs for buyers and sellers without sacrificing the quality of service. These collective ideas, and with a team that's obsessed about solving these problems, DOS was created. At DOS, we believe that we can create a digital brokerage that leverages the best technology to make home ownership more affordable. The real estate industry is the most antiquated, expensive, and fragmented industry in the world. With all of the technology advancements that have benefited the real estate industry, most of its practitioners collectively refuse to reduce the high cost that comes with buying and selling real estate. Although the Supreme Court has ruled against price fixing and standard fees, the real estate industry continues to support this behavior. Routinely labeled a discount brokerage as if commissions are non-negotiable, DOS considers itself a fair price digital brokerage that opposes price fixing 6%. With an in-house media company, DOS is able to market and service a property better than any traditional brokerage for a 1% listing fee. For buyers, DOS is able to help find the best property, negotiate a favorable deal, protect their best interest, and give a buyer rebate up to $5,000 to help lower their closing costs. Our teach agents are experienced, full-time, and trained experts that proficiently use technology to provide the best service at a fair price. Are you thinking about buying or selling a home? Hire a technology company. Everybody welcome Mr. Bobby Bryant to the platform. All right. Now, gentlemen, since we're talking about love today, one of the questions that we started off with the last panel was, how do you define self-love for you? When you think about loving yourself, what are some things that you do to just love on you? Bobby?
Go ahead, Bobby.
No, thanks. I guess for me being the guinea pig to jump off the diving board here, but and Eric, nice to meet you. Ms. Baker, thank you. Self-love. Wow. That's one of those questions. I think if you line 10 people up and ask that same question, you're going to get 10 different answers. I don't know if anybody is necessarily wrong, because that's how you feel, and that's what love means to you. Ms. Baker, is kind of like you and I conversation. I was lucky early on to have this Candyland, if you will, upbringing. With a mother and father that was married until my dad passed away. I had the epitome of watching what love was between a man and a woman, a father who loved his wife, a mother who understood, her man and herself. And so to me, to have these type of parents that actually, instilled, especially growing up in Mobile, Alabama, as south as you can get, in the civil rights capital of the country.
Dr. King, how are things shaping up now for tomorrow?
Things are shaping up beautifully. We have people coming in from all over the country. I suspect that we will have representatives from almost every state in the Union, and naturally a large number of people from the state of Alabama. And we hope to see, and we plan to see, the greatest witness for freedom ever taken place, that has ever taken place on the steps of the capital of any state in the South. And this whole march adds drama to this total thrust.
The goal is really an Audre Lorde quote that I love to say. And she says, if I didn't define myself for myself, I'd be crunched into people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. To me, that's self-love. You know, that's self-love. Defining yourself for yourself, knowing yourself unequivocally, you know, being comfortable in your skin, telling you who you are. In those formative years, it is important. And for those who are watching as small kids, you have to tell your boy who he is. You have to tell your daughter that she's beautiful and that she's smart. And because once we, walk out of your house, the world is poking holes in us. And so you have to have self-love and understand who you are, what you want, and go after it. And if you don't have those qualities, you're inflicting yourself on everybody you come in contact with.
Last Sunday, more than 8,000 of us started on a mighty walk from Selma, Alabama. They told us we wouldn't get here. There were those who said that we would get here only over their dead bodies. Well, talk. Yes. All the world today knows that we are here and we are standing before the forces of power in the state of Alabama saying we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
I appreciate you giving us your introduction about self-love. And with it being Black History Month, it was important for you to just make a note about Alabama and how you highlighted that as it relates to the civil rights movement. I always think about, the bus boycott. I always think about Rosa Parks. When we think about our history as a people, Alabama will be forever etched in our brains. We cannot think about us as African Americans. We cannot think about the benefit to the United States of America as it relates to everything that our forefathers have done to come along with others as it relates to the civil rights movement. So thank you for that.
Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, that scaffold sways the future. Yes. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Yes, how long? Not long. Not long. Because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Yes, he's trampling out the village where the grapes of wrath are stored. Yes, sir. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. Yes, his truth is marching on. Yes, sir. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Now, Eric, what about you? How do you define self-love?
Okay, Leona, for me, I define self-love as living out my purpose. And so essentially, I look at self-love and I basically flip it into selfless. And so for me, selfless in turn falls under two main pillars. The first one is duty and then service. And so for me, duty and service culminates into living through my purpose.
Even though it's been challenging and rough, and sometimes you get discouraged and uninspired to keep going, God has a plan. You will grow through what you go through.
Don't be sad, be grateful. Don't dwell, do. Don't complain, create. We got this.
As long as there's breath in my lungs, there's hope in our hearts, and giving up's not an option. You and I and we, no matter what your unique situation, your storm, your struggle, your trauma, your abuse, your wounds, your scars, no matter what they are, you are not a product of your past. You are not a product of your environment or your current unique situation, but you are always a product of how do we navigate through our storm.
And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up and play. Your story is not meant to be your fortress. Your story is meant to be your fuel.
You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
And I was fortunate enough, Leona, to discover my purpose rather early on in life. Mm-hmm. And that purpose for me is simply put, coming from a lineage of generational welfare, my purpose is to change that trajectory, flip-flop it from generational welfare into generational wealth. And that's really where my firm was born out of. That's the mission of my firm and the mission of my actual life purpose. So I kind of look at it as having a more selfless approach and living through my purpose in that manner. And so pretty much everything I do, Leona, is predicated on fulfilling that mission. So.
Well, thank you. I really admire you both as it relates to your backstories. I feel like Bobby's backstory is amazing because he is an example of what it looks like when a child is raised in a home with a mother and father who are very successful, who taught her morals and values, right? And then you are an example of, generational poverty. And you're going to make sure that you break that cycle, through your purpose. I mean, I think that's just awesome. That's great. Now, when you think about relationships, relationships are so broad. You have relationships with your boys, you have relationships with your family members, you have relationships, pretty much every person around you who you're interacting with on a daily basis, whether it's within your business, whether it's you going to the supermarket every week. Relationships are just something that is just fixed in our lives daily. We can't escape it. And I always like to say that we are our greatest resource, okay, within our arm's reach, because there's nothing like having someone close by that can help support you with some resources. Now, what is it that you all are looking for when it comes to a relationship? What are some things that you feel you need?
What are needs? Needs are things that you must have to live, like food, water, air, and shelter.
And you want? Do you feel needs and wants are the same? Do you feel needs and wants are different? What is it that you may need and want?
Wants are things you would like to have, like toys, games, candy, and computer.
Or what is it that you think you need versus a want when it comes to a romantic relationship?
Go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby raised his head. Go ahead, Bobby.
That was deferring. But since my name got called again, and excuse the noise. Let's just be clear, very clear to say this. It's important to understand what you need and want, right? You know, I alluded that, you know, to that in my very first response, but I can't tell you how many people meander around this planet, again, inflicting themselves on people without knowing what they need and want.
Come on now.
And it's just a very, very perplexing thing to me. And it's the most educated is not exempt from this scenario. It includes them as well. But you know, I think when it comes to me, and to be very vivid in my current state and chapter of my life, there's some need and wants that I have, but I'm also concerned about not being able to have the capacity to attend to somebody else's needs and wants. And I think I have to actually be honest and fair with myself on that. And then if I do come across somebody who could jive with that, then there may be a good, you know, fit and mix. I think that I shouldn't rule that out, you know, but I need somebody who is as active and busy and ambitious as I am. That's my yoke, if I had to call it and say it. You know, the thing is if I have somebody who's an 8 to 5er and she gets off at 5 o'clock and she's counting my hours, it may be somebody that will end up in a frustrated situation, admittedly so. But somebody who I can support her ambitions and what she's doing. I need somebody who is chasing her big picture as well as she see me chasing mine, you know, because like it's easy to say you want a Barack, but man, do you know how to be a Michelle? I mean, do you really know how to be a Michelle? And you got this guy who actually has that potential, but he actually has legs under him to go get that thing, right? You know, and so you might want to get behind him. Man, the worst thing I think, and what I don't need is somebody to talk me off of my life's purpose, because I will be eternally in jail. You'll be happy. I'll be in mental jail with no bars, and we're going to be miserable because you've clipped my wings, and I'm not able with my potential to chase and get and secure what I'm ambitious about. And so I just need you know what? Now this is about to be something right here. Shannon Sharpe said the most profound thing I've ever heard.
What did Shannon Sharpe say? I like Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe said,
I stay to myself. I'm single. For me, is what I tell females now. I'm looking for someone to partner with, not someone to sponsor.
Right. In LA, you know, that means a lot.
So
you know,
for me,
it's a lot of sponsorships out here.
And for me, I need you to bring something more to the picnic than your appetite. Absolutely. Bring utensils, bring napkins,
something.
Even if you're bringing tater salad that Becky cooking, it's not even good.
Right.
They got grapes in it. Just bring something.
Right.
And so for me, and it's tough. Yeah. It's tough because you're like, hey, do you like me for me, or you like me for the TV?
I need a partner. I'm not trying to sponsor. I need a partner. I'm not trying to sponsor. Let's create a win-win. I mean, you ain't the only prize. I'm the prize too. So let's be each other's prize. And we gotta kill this knight in shining armor. I want my queen to show up on a horse too, or a buggy. So we both the prize. So what I need is somebody who is the prize, but also recognizes that I'm the prize as well. And with that, man, we may both end up doing stuff we said we'll never do. Who knows? They're your need and want right there. And I digress.
Oh my God, this is going to be interesting tonight. Bobby just going to have me cracking up over here. Well, I will say this, it's interesting what you said about the white knight, because my little baby sister, she went into the Air Force and she is just one of my favorite people on the planet. She retired 20 years in her own team. She's so beautiful and so intelligent. You wouldn't know that she is built to take the toughest guy out from the ankles up in the matter of 2 minutes, okay? But I say all of that to say, I typically would give her advice growing up. And we always talked about relationships, but one of the things that she said to myself and one of my other sisters, when we were just talking about relationships years ago, she said, you know, you are the white knight. You have got to do what you have to do for yourself. But she was basically repeating the mentality that my grandfather gave us, which was to teach us to be very independent.
You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear.
However, as a woman, I definitely want to feel like I'm being taken care of, and that will definitely be reciprocated, you know? So when she said that, it wasn't to take away anything as it relates to our femininity. You know, I was just having a conversation with my best friend, and she feels like there's an attack on women, essentially African-American women, that they can't use the word strong anymore.
What was once seen as an empowering phrase can often be a harmful moniker for Black women, and Taraji P. Henson is making sure that the masses understand the issue at large. Henson has been called strong in addition to many other attributes, seemingly as a compliment. However, in a conversation during an Essence Wellness House segment, the actress opened up about how damaging the strong Black woman narrative can really be.
It came as a thing to empower us, right? So it became I'm a strong Black woman, right, to empower us. But then as years go on, we've been ignored because of that very statement. Well, you know, it dehumanizes us. It dehumanizes our pain. It belittles our tears.
Your resistance made me stronger, made me push harder, made me the fighter that I am today, made me the woman that I am today. So thank you.
It belittles, like I said, our pain. We're supposed to be able to watch our brothers and sons and fathers get murdered in the street, but we can take it because we're strong, right? We can deal with it. We can handle it. And that's just not true.
Henson also takes issue with another popular phrase.
I have issues with titles like that and like Black Girl Magic, because we're not fairies. You know what I mean? We don't magically rebound from pain. We hurt and suffer just like others. And I just always felt some kind of way about those titles.
That is like, oh, don't say that because it makes you seem like you're overbearing, or don't say you're strong because too many people are going to depend on you in a way that you're not capable of showing up. No, I just saw Madonna give a huge speech about how strong she is. Madonna was saying she's very strong and she's been around for decades.
I was a teenager. It was 1979, and New York was a very scary place. In the first year, I was held up at gunpoint, raped on a rooftop with a knife digging into my throat, and I had my apartment broken into and robbed so many times, I just stopped locking the door. In the years to follow, I lost almost every friend I had to AIDS or drugs or gunshot. As you can imagine,
so if Madonna can be strong, essentially African-American women can remain strong, and we shouldn't have to take that word out of our vocabulary to fit into mainstream society, because we're afraid that people are going to put too much on us. But
as women, we have to start appreciating our own worth and each other's worth. Seek out strong women to befriend, to align yourself with, to learn from, to be inspired by, to collaborate with, to support, to be enlightened by. As I said before, it's not so much about receiving this award as it is having this opportunity to stand before you and really say thank you.
I digress.
The thing is about that though, is that the minute you gotta say it, I accomplished 2 master's degrees before I turned 30 years old. I don't have neither degree on my wall in my house. I don't have to say it. When I engage a man or a woman, my education and my preparation, my desire to refine my skill and my talent is evident in the way I talk. My vocabulary is evident. And see, the thing is, if I have to say I'm strong, if I have to say that I'm handsome, if I have to say that I'm beautiful, you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's all in how you use it.
It's the unspoken. If Halle Berry has to say she's sexy, you see what I'm saying?
Come on now.
What I'm trying to say is that we got to also realize the power in the unspoken. Man, just act, be, and do. The minute you got to start saying stuff, then you're trying to get ahead of it. No, walk in a room and own it. From the articulation to the fashion, to the style, to the education, the broad shoulders, and everything that we're burdening. Just walk in. It speaks for itself. And the minute I gotta say that, see, I'm sitting here with a hoodie and a sweat, right. But at the end of the day, do I really gotta say that I got the education? And do I gotta say the car? Do I gotta say the house? Do I gotta say these things? I'm sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings. Define me if you want to.
Well, I will say this. I agree from that perspective. I agree that I was always taught that actions speak louder than words, and that you can be very subtle and make the loudest sound in the room. So I agree from that perspective, but I just don't think it's something that Black women should find taboo at this point. Unfortunately, it's just like, it's a huge conversation around whether or not we should use the word strong to describe other Black women, not even necessarily ourselves, but just other Black women in general. Now, Eric, what about you? What do you need and what do you want?
Okay. What do I need versus what do I want?
What do you need and want? Because for some people...
I'll start with the needs first. I was jotting down a couple of notes as I was listening to Bobby go through his spill over there. So in terms of needs, and I'm assuming, Leona, you're not talking about casual dating. You're talking about for the long run, right? In game, absolutely. Right? Long term. Okay. So in terms of needs, non-negotiables, I need a woman who has a strong sense of independence. For one, I'm an introvert naturally, so even in previous relationships, I still value my alone time. That's my way to recharge, re-energize. I've actually had some quote unquote conflicts in the past relationships where she would think that is something against her, or I'm out running the streets or something, when it was really just, I need to go back in my shell from time to time. That's all it is. So I like a woman that has a strong sense of independence. She kind of has her own thing going on. I don't want her world, in a sense, to necessarily revolve around me. I want it to, I have my thing, she has her thing, and then we also have our thing as a union. So I definitely need independence. Let me see. Finances. I need a woman that has her finances in order. I think I heard Shannon Sharp say that quote as well, Bobby, but you hit the nail right on the head with that quote that you mentioned. But I definitely, need a woman to have her finances in order. And I'm not talking, like she needs to be top 10% earners or anything like that. What I'm saying is I'm in a space where, like I mentioned, my life purpose, everything culminates for me around building generational wealth. And so when we're speaking in terms of long-term relationship, I want someone that I need someone that can go on that journey with me, not someone that's gonna, I'm gonna be dragging this extra heavy luggage along with me. So have your finances in order, have your credit decent, not living check to check. You have something put up for a rainy day, just the basics. That's all I'm looking for. And then also, I would definitely like to have a woman that has some form of education beyond high school. And I only say that, Leonie, because when I think about potential future children, I would like for mom and dad to set the example of higher education.
Absolutely.
So any form of, even if it's just community college, some type of technical school, something beyond the basics of, and there's nothing against that, but just when I think about the type of culture I want to set in my household, I want to have, mom and dad both setting the example for, the future young ones. What else? Needs, fitness. I want a woman who, I need a woman who prioritizes her health and wellness, not only physical well-being, but also nutrition. I like a woman that is mindful of what she eats and pays attention to that. And so that's a need. And also, I don't know, this might, I don't know what type of listeners you have, Leona, but this may strike a few nerves. But another need for me, and I've always been this way, is I've got to have natural hair. It's got to be yours. Whatever type of style, I'm cool with it as long as it's yours. And that's a non-negotiable. We're talking about doing this thing for the long run. I gotta have it's got to be yours. So that's a need for me.
So Eric, that first date, we finna go jump in this swimming pool. Shit, we about to get this water, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ooh, y'all something else. And my thing is, I appreciate you guys being candid about that, because women need to hear how men feel sitting on the other side of the table. I had a lot of feedback from that video that I did with the ladies, and y'all are keeping it real. Look, I need this, I need natural hair. Why is it, or why does it necessarily have to be natural hair? Like, for instance, I've worn my hair, natural for years, shaved all my hair off like I did last year, just shaved it down to the bone for different reasons. And then now it's growing back naturally and nice and curly. I've had it long down to the middle of my back, down to my shoulder.
It looks nice. It looks nice, Leona.
Thank you. What is it about natural hair? Like, what is it about the wig versus the natural hair? Because the ladies need to know. Some men, they prefer natural hair, ladies. That's their thing. Because some sisters are out here getting their whole bodies done on the behalf of you guys. So I want them to hear these things. You actually like natural hair. Why is that? And I saw Bobby clapping his hands. So what is it about the natural hair, whether it's long, straight, or curly? What is it?
And first I got to say, I unequivocally agree with Eric. Okay. The thing is that it's nothing like seeing a woman and seeing a woman, right? When everybody looked like Kim Kardashian and got the sucky face and the Betty Boop eye thing going, it's just like, the issue is all women are starting to look alike. There's no uniqueness to her. I just turned 49. I turned 49 this week.
Wow.
I remember when.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you. I remember seeing organic women, and she was organically beautiful, natural, didn't have to throw on a war paint. You know, all the war paint. It didn't have to be put on. You know, she took care of her skin. I can't do it. Matter of fact, you know what? Bobby over here would knock Zima and walk. You know, so the thing is that when we start talking about, you know, what they say, keeping it real, man, come on, let me see you. You know, we shouldn't have to go to sleep at night. And then that's when, you know, I get the chance to see the real you. And then I'm really spooked out. You know, I want to see my woman and I want to be in love organically with my woman, with who she is and what she looks like. I get it. And then let's be very clear. No, women don't do it for men. Women do it for women, if I just had to be honest. Ooh. Women do what they do for other women. No,
you think so?
Matter of fact, I confidently know so.
No, so.
I know so. They do. Women do everything they do for women, and men do what they do for women. So let's be very clear about that. And so the thing is when you really start dialing into your dude, or maybe to what men are saying, and you start reading the Cosmopolitan and 5,000 Ways of How to Please Your Dude, and you really start listening to men tell you, you know, how they want to be pleased, and maybe there may get some traction. There'll be some traction on this disconnect, and that's my answer.
Wow. Wow, ladies, I'm telling you, we're getting some answers tonight. And I will say this, I'm not surprised about the natural thing at all. I'm not. And, you know, for years, even just being around my uncles and my daddy and my brother, you know, pretty much that's just how it was with me. No foundation, lip gloss. I put me some lipstick on every once in a while, but that's it. I don't even dye my hair. At my age, I should have a great hair full of gray, but I have a lot of youth, praise God. You know, I don't, you know, I still feel like I'm in my 30s. So, you know, I'm gonna just run with that. But anyways, you know, just thinking about love and relationships as it relates to communication, what are some of the obstacles that you feel that we're having as a community, as couples? What is really going on with this breakdown in communication? And what can we do to change it, Eric? Where people are just not able to express themselves in a way where we can come to an agreement and flourish and build.
I think, at least from my experience, it's a lack of blunt, full-blown, honest transparency up front. And I think a part of that is, you know, predicated on this social media era that we live in now. You know, a lot of folks put out this facade in the social media space, and you know, I just think it's a lack of, you know, just full transparency up front. Well, what are you actually looking for? You know, are you just looking for a rebound because you had a bad breakup, or you know, are you just looking for, you know, a have fun type thing because you have a situation going on that's kind of on the rocks? Let me know. Or are you looking for something long term? Let me know. I think it's the, first and foremost, it's the honesty thing. You know, just be full transparent up front. At least that's what I've dealt with, you know, recently and you know, further on in the past. So I think it's more so predicated on that.
All right. What about you, Bobby? What do you think the breakdown in communication is, and what can we do? What can we do as ladies? What do you think some of the guys need to do just to help with the communication gap?